Ow. Started off okay and then just kind of went downhill. ASMR. Here's my new book, Boyfriend. It's just, oh. Hello, my name is Jodie and welcome to another video. So today I have my December wrap up for you guys. Don't remember a lot of the books I even read in December, so we're off to a good start. December was a very, very weird reading month for me. I kind of started off okay and then just kind of went downhill, then back up again, and it was all over the place. I had a lot of work on in December, so I definitely didn't read as much as I wanted to, but I'm really surprised and happy with what I managed to read, considering I had very little time to do any reading. And I managed to hit my goal of 100 books, which was amazing. I hit it on New Year's Eve, so yes, we love that for me. So 2 of the books I read I cannot find. One of them I don't actually own physically, the other one I just can't find where it is, and yeah, that's not good. But this is the stack anyway, because I know you guys like to see when I do this. So this is the stack of books that I got through, and mine is 2. So yeah, we have a very big stack of books, which is really hurting my arm, so I'm gonna sit them down. Ow. So yes, if you would like to see all of the books that I read in December and hear me talk about them a little bit, then please keep watching. I'm not going to go any particular order, I'm just going to grab them and chat about them and we will go from there. So let's just get into it. So the first book I have here is Unported by Shea Earnshaw. I was pleasantly surprised by this book. I was kind of like umming and ahhing about reading it. I didn't know if I would enjoy it, if it was going to be like a bit of a drag to get through. I'd never read anything by this author before, but now that I have, I'm very glad. And yeah, I really enjoyed this. I can't even remember what my rating was, but from what I remember, I'm gonna say it was 4 stars. It might have been 3.5, but we'll bump it up to 4. It was a really good read. This was the perfect book for me to pick up in December. Literally loved it. Like, it was so perfect. This is a really polar-esque book. This is obviously, hence the title, set in winter. It's set in a very snowy, cold landscape, which really, like, I just loved reading that in December. And like, it was so fun to like curl up with this book before work with a cup of tea and Nero and delve into it. And I was reading about it being all snowy and like the forest all snowy, and it was so good. This had a very eerie and kind of atmospheric vibe to it, and we basically followed Nora Walker, who comes from a long line of like these witches, and they have this like kind of connection to the forest called the Winterwood, which is outside her little cabin. And she lives in this really small remote town, and there's like kind of like a boys' school where young troubled boys are sent to. And then one day they're hit by this really bad storm and they all get snowed in. The whole town's cut off, no one can get out the town, there's no electricity, nothing. Laura's there on her own because her mother's off gallivanting somewhere, and this boy, Oliver I think his name was, has gone missing and no one knows where he is, what happened to him. Everyone presumes he's dead because of the storm, and then 2 weeks later he turns up. She finds him in the Winterwood, which only certain people can go in there. Like, the Winterwood will literally like eat you alive. And then the story goes from there. She kind of has to piece together this whole like murder mystery thing, and then she's kind of falling for Oliver, and then there's this huge plot twist at the end which I did not expect. And yes, this is one that has like kind of magic in here. We've got like a murder mystery element, we've got a bit of romance, a bit of everything in here. It's so good. I really did love this, and I absolutely adored the writing as well. I'd highly recommend picking this book up because it is such a good read. Just really adored this, as you can tell. Perfect for winter. Then next we have one that took me by surprise again a little bit. So this next book is probably one you've seen and heard a lot of talk about, and this is one of my most anticipated releases, but I also wasn't too sure what I was getting myself into with it. So yeah, I was surprised with it and I really enjoyed this. I finished this book on the train on the way to work at 7 AM, which was a really bad idea. I was crying my ass out on the train and everyone was looking at me. It was not a fun experience, but still love this book. I have wrote a review for this book, which I will have linked in the description box if you want to read like a review. I did this review immediately after I finished the book, so it's quite a fun review. The book I'm talking about is V. Schwabs, The Invisible Life of Addie Larue. So as you can see by my sticky tabs, ASMR, I love that sound. Anyway, yeah, I tabbed the hell out of this book and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars or 4.5 stars. I don't remember which, but you can definitely check on my Goodreads review, which like I said, link down below. Really love this book. This was so good. This was my first adult V. Schwab book and I just fell in love with her writing. Her writing style is so unique and I just absolutely loved it. I don't know what it is about her writing. It's just so immersive and you just totally get lost in it, and I got lost in this story and I just adored it. Really happy that I finally picked up a V. Schwab book anyway that was adult. But this follows Addie, who makes a deal with the devil. He's not really the devil, but yeah, he's called Luck. I love him. And she makes a deal with him because she wants to escape her life of trying to be forced into a marriage she doesn't want, and she just wants to live and leave this small little French village that she lives in. And I think this is in like, oh, I don't even remember what century it is, let's say the 1600s or something like that. She's 300 years old by the modern day part of the book. She makes this deal and she gets turned immortal basically, but there is a catch. No one ever remembers her, so she can't like have her own place, she can't like have an identification, she can't write either, she can't write her name or speak her name, nothing. Very lonely and difficult life to live. But she doesn't want to let Luck get the upper hand. She wants to best him. She won't give in to him and give her soul over to him. She's like, no, I don't care if I'm alone forever. I'm going to live and prove you wrong. I'm going to get under your skin, which is exactly what happened. But her and Luck, you know, I'm not going to go into details, but that's what I liked most out of this and I want more of, hopefully, if we're getting a second book. But then we also have a second character called Henry, and we see a lot from his path, and he is struggling with a lot of mental health issues as well, and I really loved how Victoria Schwab portrayed mental health through his character, and yeah, it was so good. I don't want to give any spoilers either. I didn't expect some of the plot twists to do with his character. Also, another thing I absolutely adored was the fact that both of the characters in this book were bisexual. Well, that's how I interpreted them to be. Obviously their sexuality could be something else entirely, but I interpreted them being as bisexual, and from the reviews I've read, that's how other people have portrayed that as well. But that is something that I really liked, the fact that not one but two main characters in this story were bisexual instead of straight like we get a lot of the time in fantasy. I just really enjoyed that element, and it was really interesting how Victoria Schwab portrayed that as well. The only thing for me, I didn't like this kind of like, I don't want to give any spoilers, but there's kind of like more than one romance going on, and we talk about a lot of Addie's romantic affairs in this book as well. I definitely preferred one over the other, and I just hope there's more of that if we're getting a second book. Yeah, I didn't really expect the plot twists or anything like that in here at all. The story overall is just amazing. We are taken on such a good journey with Addie through her life, through her 300 years. There's like hope, love, sadness, despair. There's all kinds of different themes in here, and it really was just an amazing journey to go on, and the writing, again, amazing. The only reason this wasn't 5 stars for me was the pacing. I felt the first 200 pages of this book are very slow. We get told a lot of little like things about Addie that I just didn't really care for. I get them by the end of the book. I could see why those things were in there, and it gave it a bit more of a punch, but I just still felt it very slow, and the pacing just changed 200 pages in. So that's why for me I gave it 5 stars, because I just didn't like the pacing. But except for that, this book was absolutely incredible. Totally worth the hype, and I really do recommend anyone reading this because I did absolutely love it, and it's made me want to pick up all of Victoria Schwab's work now, which is exactly what I plan to do. I have a lot of her books, not there, the shelf above that one, which I plan to read in 2021. But yes, anyway, I've waffled on about this book long enough. 4 stars or 4.5, can't remember. Read my review down below if you want to know more, but yeah, I really love this book. Then next we have another book that I absolutely loved. I believe this one was another 4 star or 4.5 stars, but this was Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerry Maniscalco. I love this book. I'm in love with Wrath. He's my new book boyfriend. Adore him. This was such a good book. We kind of have like witches in here, princes of hell, bit of like not enemies to lovers, but you know, kind of like hate to love almost, and like a really cool plot basically where the main character's sister was murdered and she goes on this journey with a prince of hell called Wrath to solve the murder basically. I love this. I just really did not like the ending. I still am very confused. Like, was it all a lie? Like, because to me I interpreted that plot twist in a couple of different ways, and it's not clear to me which is the right one, and I just don't really understand exactly like what the direction is that it was supposed to go in. I don't know if it's just me not reading this properly or what, like I don't know, but I really enjoyed this book anyway. I just didn't really like the ending, but I cannot wait for book 2 because obviously it will be cleared up and we will see what will happen. Adored this, loved the characters, I loved Wrath. Wrath is just, oh yeah, I'm doing hand gestures because I can't think of words. But yeah, I loved Wrath, and I'm just so excited to read the second book, and I love Carrie Maniscalco's writing anyways, so yes, I believe I gave this one 4 stars. Then next we have 2 poetry books which I read to try and bump up my Goodreads, and I really enjoyed these. I enjoyed one more than the other, so I have these 2 poetry books here by Chris Riddell. I've spoken about these in my book haul, I'll leave that link down below, but basically these are both a collection of poems that have been selected by Chris Riddell, and then his illustrations accompany them, if that makes sense. I don't know why I just did that with my hand. But yes, I think I gave this one 4 stars. This was poems to fall in love with, which was all obviously kind of like romantic poems or even some heartbreak ones, but anything related to love. Really enjoyed the selection of poems in here. I'm very hit or miss with poetry. I prefer modern poetry, but yeah, I did enjoy this. And then we have Poems to Live Your Life by Chris Riddell. You even have sonnets in here and everything. Like, there's all different kinds of poetry in here. I just enjoyed the poems that were selected a lot less in this book, so I think I gave this 3 stars. But these are absolutely stunning and definitely worth it if you do like poetry. Just really nice to read, and the illustrations are just really nice in both of them. Then next I have a manga, so I read The Girl from the Other Side, and I really enjoyed this. This is by Nagabe, and it's so cute. This is a really nice manga. It's just kind of cute and intriguing at the same time. I love the art style in here too, and kind of like the world that's kind of being set up in here, and this is just really nice. The main character is really cute, and I like this dude as well. I really want to pick up the rest of the volumes and series, which I definitely plan to soon. I'm gonna have to check my rating. I should probably just get my Goodreads up. I don't know what I rated this. It was either 4 or 5. I honestly don't remember. I gave this 4 stars, which seems about right. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. It's just a really nice manga. We follow a little girl and this like guy, but I think he's a monster, and there's like these cursed people. I can't really explain it, but I mean, I've talked about this in a video before. It was just a really fun manga, basically really light-hearted but also kind of sinister, and it was just a lot of fun, and I love the art style. 4 stars. I'll have it linked down below so you can read the synopsis there. Then next we have a middle grade. Well, we have 2, but one of them I don't have. I listened to both of these on audio. I think I gave the first one 5 stars and the second book 4 stars. Might be wrong, but yeah, I'm just going to talk about them quickly. So we have The Christmasaurus by Tom Fletcher. So this is the first book, and then The Christmasaurus and the Winter Witch is the second book. I absolutely love this. This was so nice to read, and I just love this book because it is really inclusive. The main character in this story is in a wheelchair. He's dealing with being bullied and lots of other things, and I just think this was such a good read, and the way that his character was portrayed and the things that he's dealing with his family and losing his mum and grief, all these different themes that I think are really important for kids to kind of understand in books, were all there, and Tom Fletcher did an amazing job of having these elements in there. But this was just so fun. It was adventurous, it was funny, it was just really cute, it was Christmassy, and I loved it. Yeah, really good. I think I gave this 5 stars and the sequel 4 stars. The audio as well, so good. The only thing I hated in the audio was the little elves when they sing, because I listen to my audiobooks on like 2 times speed, sometimes even faster. Yeah, not a nice sound in your ear. But yeah, these were just really fun middle grades, and I definitely recommend Tom Fletcher's writing because it's just really fun. Then next we have 2 Neil Gaiman books. So we have The Sleeper in the Spindle, which is a dark retelling of Sleeping Beauty, and I love this. I think I gave this 5 stars. Really enjoyed this. It was just really good. I really like the art in here as well. It's illustrated by my fave, Chris Riddell, but this was just a really cool spin on the fairy tale, and I just loved it. And yeah, I didn't have much else to say about it. And then we have Neil Gaiman's Hansel and Gretel. Again, another dark twisted retelling of the Hansel and Gretel tale. I love this. The art style in this is so cool. It's so dark, and I'm just living for these retellings. Like, they're just so fun. You all know what Hansel and Gretel's about, so I'm not going to go into that, but I really enjoyed this, and I believe I gave this 5 stars as well. Then we have 3 graphic novels. So I read Fence volumes 2, 3 and 4. Gave all of these 5 stars. I freaking love this series so much. If you're a fan of the Heartstopper series, I'd also recommend this. It's kind of hard to explain what this is about. Like, it's about fencing and a group of boys who are competing in this fencing thing, but there's like roommates between 2 guys, and yeah, I just really enjoy these. I don't really know why I do, but I absolutely love them. They're just so fun to read, so easy to read. 5 stars, and I would recommend this series if you're just looking for a nice fun graphic novel series to read. I just love these so much. Yeah, 5 stars to all 3 volumes because we love them, and I need the next volume. Then next we have 3 like children's picture book things. I read these over Christmas just to be Christmassy, and it was really fun. So I have Tim Burton's The Animated Disney Classics, The Nightmare Before Christmas. This is obviously the story of The Nightmare Before Christmas. I can't open this very well. But yes, love this, obviously 5 stars. Love Nightmare Before Christmas, love Tim Burton, 5 stars. Easy, really fun. Highly recommend this if you're a fan of the movie. Then next we also have the picture book edition of this as well, which is illustrated by Tim Burton, and this was just so fun to read on Christmas. I love this so much. 5 stars for this as well. And yes, picture books are still fun to read, okay, and they still count if they're on Goodreads. And then of course, because it's Christmas, I had to include a Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This is the anniversary edition, and it comes in a smoky slipcase. Just love this. I love the Grinch. He's my guy. Love him. Love the story. It's so fun. I love the illustrations, and obviously this is such a nice nostalgic read for Christmas, and I just loved it. 5 stars. I did also read A Price Guide to the Occult by Leslie Walton. I listened to that on audio and I gave it 3 stars. To be honest, I don't really remember a lot about it. It was witchy, it was quite cool. It was about a girl overcoming some personal issues and becoming a badass, basically. I honestly don't remember it, which is probably why I gave it 3 stars, because it obviously wasn't that like memorable. But yeah, it was just a fun witchy read, fun audio book. I still had fun with it. She was a bit of a badass, and mum was like a bit of a not a nice person, so she kind of just had her mum off, and I just loved that. And it was just really fun. I think I do need to revisit it at some point, because I feel like there was some bits I didn't like take in as much as others. But yeah, 3 stars to that one. I think I did also read Howl's Moving Castle. Yes, I finished Howl's Moving Castle as well, which I do have somewhere down there. I think I read 18 books in December, which was really good. I gave it 3.75 stars because I just prefer the movie so much more to the book. I already talked about this in a vlog and gave my thoughts. I just prefer Sophie and Howl in the movie, and obviously it's the exact same story pretty much. I really enjoyed it. It just wasn't as good as the film for me, which is why I gave it 3.75 stars. So I don't really have anything else to say about that. I just realised I missed another one. I also read The Nightmare Before Christmas graphic novel, which is somewhere down there, but again, I can't be bothered to get it. I'm too lazy. But I did give that 5 stars. I loved it. So fun. I loved the art in there. I love the movie, the story, so of course it was going to be 5 stars. If you're a fan, definitely get the graphic novel. Just so good. You can get it on Amazon because I haven't been able to find it anywhere else, but it was just really good, and yeah, 5 stars. So that concludes everything in this wrap up. Not the best wrap up. I am rushing because my camera's flashing at me, but I hope you enjoyed my wrap up anyway. Really weird mix of books in December, but I'm pretty happy managing to read 18 books. Like, that is so good for me. Even if some were graphic novels or picture books, they still count as reading, and they were all a lot of fun. I read some really good books in December, so I'm really happy. Let me know in the comments what books you read in December. I'd be really interested to know. Or if you've read any of these, then let me know your thoughts on them. Did you love them? Did you hate them? Let me know. I'd love to know. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Please do give it a big thumbs up and comment if you can. It really does help me out, and I really appreciate it every single time. And if you'd like to subscribe, then please do so. I'd like to have you here on my channel. I make bookish videos at least twice a week, and at the moment I host live shows and reading sprints every Saturday on my channel, so it would be really nice if you wanted to come and join us. If not, thank you very much for watching. Like I said, hope you guys enjoyed this video anyway, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!